Hi, it's Patsy. So I've popped on today to show you my new tarot deck. I received this a couple of weeks ago and it's called the Gregory Scott Tarot, a tarot of positive clarity. And Gregory Scott is a YouTuber that I watch. He has a channel that he does his tarot and also astrology. He has his own website also. This is printed by Le Scarabeo and I believe it came out late summer, early autumn. And I thought I would give it a try, being so I watched him. So that just comes in the tuck box, and you just get the little white book that you get with Le Scarabeo with different languages. But he does say that this tarot was sort of designed for you to use your intuition. It is quite traditional in some ways, and then in other cards it's not traditional at all. So this is the back of them. I think the backs are lovely. It's the same sort of cardstock you would expect from the Scarabeo, and it is borderless, which is always good. Let me see if I can get in a little bit closer. There we go. So there we go with the full, very traditional. At the edge of the cliff, you've got the red and white flower there, and a dog at the feet. Doesn't quite look like a dog. I'm not sure if that's a dog or something else. But we have the magician. The magician is a child in this, or a young man, and he's got everything you'd expect the magician to have. We have the high priestess, again pretty traditional. The empress, again pretty traditional, except she's not got, the pregnancy belly that a lot of the cards do depict. And the emperor, I quite like this emperor card, which kind of shows the sort of a strategic kind of look, kind of feel to that. Then we've got the Hierophant, and again the Hierophant is a young boy, a young child sitting there. It's not the traditional Hierophant in that respect. Then we have the Lovers. Then we have the Chariot, again pretty traditional. And then we have our first card, what is quite different to other strength cards. So I will tell you what it says to give you an idea what you get in the book. So if I go to strength, and it says, you are not alone. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It may be God, it may be friends, it may be loved ones. It may be a higher and deeper self, but you're not alone. It may seem so, but you're not alone. Reach out and help will come. Strength will come. So that's how he kind of sees the strength. I had this come up a few times and it's fitted in very well using it intuitively rather than the traditional meaning. But that is like one of the first cards that is quite different. You've got this barbed wire in the head, hand coming out, reaching the angel there for help. So then we've got the Hermit. They're quite traditional Hermit there, as is the Wheel. You've got the two sides of the wheel. You've got the angelic realm at the top, and then you've got like the hell at the bottom. Again, this is another one what is gone off the original, what you would expect to see for justice. He's obviously took the poison and is down there. So this one, it took me a little while to kind of work out what his thoughts was there. And let me read what it says for this one. Consequences. Every action is connected to other actions in a chain. There are always consequences, and there is justice in this. Of course, if we act with justice, we should never fear justice. So that is what that card's about, but very different to what you would expect. No scales or whatever with that one. Then we have the Hanged Man. No Death, again, very different. Death, to me, that's one of the cards I do struggle with, because to me that isn't death. To me that is like, yeah, I know he was looking to find like the peace and solitude with the death card, something lovely and something relaxing, but that's not really to me what the death card is about. So when I see that, I just think death, nothingness, and that's not how I see death. So that's one I do have to work on, but you know, you always get the odd ones. Temperance, not much different to with the water, the toes going in the water, so there is similarities there. And I do like the devil. I thought that devil card was very clever. And the tower, not much different. Now the star is very unusual, and as you can see, the deck hasn't got like a specific look to it all the way through. It kind of veers off. So that is the star card, and that I believe he said was Ariel from The Little Mermaid. And the moon card. Now I do love that moon card. I think that moon card is gorgeous. Then we have the sun. Then we have judgment. And the world. Now I don't know if you notice with this, let me see if I can find it. There we go. I remember him saying that the magician is grown up in the world card. So it's the same person, but as the young man and as the adult in the world card. So that is the majors. So we'll then go on to the suits. So we have the Ace of Wands, and I actually like how that's all coloured, the colouring very fiery. And we have the 2, she's holding a crystal ball. 3 is very different to the traditional 3. And then we have 4, pretty traditional. 5, as you say, some of them are very traditional, as the 6 is, and others have got a different look to them. But he's done this deck and how he interprets the cards. So this is his deck, how he sees them. So that's obviously how he's got them put down on art form. And he actually used David Corsi, or D-A-V-I-D-E, so it could be David Corsi or David Corsi. That's who's done the artwork. But that is the 7 of Wands, and then we go to the 8 of Wands. That has very much the feeling of the 3 of Swords, doesn't it? Then we have the 9 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands. The Page, I love the Page. And then we have the Knight. Then we have the Queen. She has the cat there still. And then we have the King. So that is the wand suits. Then we have, oh, got 2 there, the Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups, the 3 of Cups. Instead of the ladies, we have the men, the 4 of Cups. Again, that's something a bit different to the normal 4. And the 5 is very, it's, you know, traditional, as is the 6 really. The 7 of Cups is different to what you would expect for the 7 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is very traditional. She's walking away, leaving all this behind. The 9 of Cups, she's actually pregnant in this one. Then we have the 10. You've got the rainbow and everything in there. We have the Page. We have the Knight. Again, we've got the mermaids for the Queen of Cups. And we have the King of Cups. So that is those. So now we go to the Ace of Swords. Again, very different to what you'd expect for the Ace of Swords. Then we have the 2. The 3 of Swords is there. So you've got no piercing heart there, but you can see the meaning of that card quite easily. And the 4 is very different. He doesn't look like he's relaxing very much there, does he? It looks like he's got something ticking away here, you know. and he looks like he's actually strapped down there, look. So that is the 4. Then we have the 5. And again, something very different. He's actually pouring something over this one's head, and he's got his boot on there. So again, it's not what you would expect for the 5 of Swords. Let me see if I can find what he says about this. Submission. Anxiety brings us to see the world as a place of winners and losers. When we are among the first, we forget how we feel when we lose. And when we lose, we forget that we still have the right to raise our chin. So that's the same. Then we got the 6. You can see, you know, moving away in the boat, but there's all these other demons sort of in the head and following along the boat with them. Then we have the 7. The 8 is very different. Not got that tied up, but feels like she's falling down a dark hole, but there is the help there ready to take her hand. The 9, and then the 10. The 10 again is very different. She looks quite relaxed, sitting there reading while these 10 swords, they're in a mirror, they're not going in the back. And I know that he said something about the way he interpreted this is it's all in the mind, it's not actual physical. So if we go into the book, let's see what it says. It says, 2 sides. Many people, including us, have inner plans. We should never judge a book by its cover. What a smile can hide is maybe suffering and despair. We need sensibility and not presumption, even with ourselves. So we then go on to the page. He looks a bit like a mad scientist there. Then we have the Knight. Then we have the Queen, very unusual Queen. I don't know if you can see that. She's here doing all the nice pretty work with the flowers, and in the background you've got 3 people hanging, very different for the Queen. Then we have the King. So that's the swords, and then we go on to the pentacles. So we have the Ace. I quite like this Ace of Pentacles. The 2 is very traditional, really. The 3, I love the 3. Then we have the 4 of Pentacles, scratch marks in the table. Then we have the 5, more modern take on the 5. She's still on the outside of this barbed wire looking in. Then we have the 6. Now the 7 of Pentacles reminded me very much of the 9 of Pentacles, but that's the 7. Then we have the 8. Then we have the 9. Got the abundance with the bunches of grapes and that, but it's a male now. And then we have the 10. This is actually somebody painting this. Then we go into the course. I love that little page. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen, abundance, and then we have the King of Pentacles, looking very regal. So that is all of the cards, and that is the Gregory Scott Tarot. I will try and put his link below, but this deck is really nice to use actually. So it is very intuitive, and it does sort of very colourful and very bright, but like I said, there is a few cards in there what stray well away from the traditional look to it, but I'm enjoying working with it. You'll have to tell me what you think below. Thanks for watching. Bye.